Okay, so y'all know I straightened up my papers here a while back. Oh, hey y'all! APG Jamie here. Any hoodles. I'd straightened up my papers a little bit ago. I don't know, whenever. Could have been 20 years from yesterday. I found these papers that were trimmed. They looked like they had been cut off from something. I don't know. So I thought, let's just put them in a journal. And I kept digging around, and I happened to have found a pre-started journal cover. I'm not sure what it was going to be, y'all, but it's a journal cover now. So we have scored our papers and got them folded, working on what's what and which folio, going for 2 signatures because that's mostly what I had enough for. Fuzzy. And then I trimmed them off with my big guillotine, which, it's just a big old guillotine, y'all. Cutter. And here's the spine, because y'all know that the journal cover I did for the 6-pack collab, journal collaboration, I really liked how the spine looked with the cheesecloth coming around to the front and back of the cover, which you'll see, if you already saw the thumbnail. Anyway, you'll see it. I thought, well, I want to kind of mimic that, okay? So that's kind of what I'm doing. I've got a piece of whatever scrap chip cracker board was on my desk, y'all. That's why I'm looking at this as leftovers, because they were obviously left over from something. I decay what or when. Yeah, you come across stuff when you straighten stuff up and move it around and junk like that. So that's just, I'm not sure if it's tea dyed or coffee dyed. Pretty sure it's coffee dyed. I'm not going to stake my life on it, y'all. And so just folding that around what is going to be our spine. And here's our cheesecloth. And I'm gluing the spine to the cheesecloth. Okay? This part will be outside, on the outside spine. Okay, I know. I'm just going from confusing to more confused. Okay, and that is the cover that well, to me it's a cover. It's definitely one now. Now that we're using that, it's not finished, and I'm just piddling here. I'm like, I don't even know, y'all. I found bits and pieces of footage, so. Because evidently I was recording it, but maybe I wasn't recording it. And then I thought, well, we're just gonna finish this up right here, right now. So, my favorite glue, Aleene's Original Tacky, of which there's a list of ingredients in the description below the video. Click on that phrase .. more, or whatever the phrase may be today, to see more information. Now, this is the inside part of the cover, okay? I'm not sure why I'm putting glue on it, any of that just yet. I really, because I was editing. I know why. Oh, my gosh, y'all. ADD squirrel brain today, I reckon. So, I'm laying it on there, leaving a gap for the front and the back cover against the spine. Leaving a gap so it'll open and close. You want your journal to open and close. That's a piece of scrap paper, card, packaging. I'm not sure what it was. It's got painted green on it because I thought that's what would match most likely. Squishing it down. Okay, gonna work in my little gap there because we got, the front and back cover gap between the spine. Not the book crack gap. Almost, but not quite. So just working that in there. Sort of, not really an overly longish video, but it's video. And I thought I could use this. And then it's like, no, you can't, because it is like just ever so little bit short. So I found some free cardstock, you know, the artist papers from is it Art Journaling or Somerset Studio? I don't know. One of those magazines, you know, the quote free papers. Anyway, so I happen to have that. It happened to be long enough. I trimmed it so that it would be the correct height. We are putting our favorite glue on it, wiping our fingers off. Gonna roll away that silicone mat. Here comes the front and the back cover with the spine, and we evidently clamped it, and it's got our little reinforcing paper on there. I'm tucking the cheesecloth, aka table runner from the Hobby Lobby Springs clearance sales whenever we got that one. Okay, so we're squishing it down. It's very neutral paper. It's got pretty much like some coffee ring stainage on it. It's supposed to be that way, y'all. It came that way. So we're working in the front and back cover gap, you know, where it folds, y'all. So it opens and closes and opens and closes easily, repetitively. Okay, repeatedly, whatever. Squirrel! So we're doing that. Now we got the bone folder because we want to make sure our little gap is worked in there really well. This is reminiscent of the one I did for the 6-pack collab, okay? If I can remember. Issues today. I will put a link in the description. Now here's some washi tape because y'all know I'm trying to use it this year. Should try to do it for the rest of my life. Anyways. So I'm pre-tearing off about the strip that I think is about right. Because, see, I found this little cluster piece that we did a while back, too. If I can remember, I'll share that video link below as well. And it has this washi tape on it. And I thought, well, let's just put some on the book spine because that would be cool to, you know, use it. So that's what we're doing. I'm putting glue because washi's not a permanent tape. But it is now being glued. And I thought I want to kind of glue these pieces of the cheesecloth, you know, so that you're kind of in place but still wispy, if you will. Okay. Doing that. We will get to that front, which will now be considered a topper towards the endish. Okay. So we got that. Doing that. Now we're going to make a little template, our sewing template, because yes, I'm sewing it with a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, okay? Now I didn't quite get my bottom and top hole quite that far away from the edge of the spine, or the edge of the signatures, excuse me. But it's fine. It's okay. It's all right, y'all. So just making one template, sewing in 2 signatures, marked it for top, or I will at some point. And I thought, oh, I better mark inside the spine so I can sort of know where to put said 2 signatures. A signature is a folio. Excuse me, let me start over. A signature is made up of folios. A folio is a piece of paper or other type substrate folded in half so that it has a fold. Or you could, you know, there's many ways around it. We are just complicating everything out the wazoo. So you have your folded folio. You put one inside another just like it, and it becomes a signature. That was my whole point, trying to get around what a signature is. So we're kind of lining it up. We're not being precise. Ain't no ruler boss of me. I like rulers though. Anyway, so we got our little hose in there. We're going to measure out our wax linen thread. Came from one of those binding kits from the Amazons. It had 2 or 3 wax linen threads, that all pokey tool thing there, and some needles. It was a nice little set, y'all. At the time, it was about $10, so extremely reasonable. Okay, so we're threading that, and it's pretty easy to thread, you know, wax linen thread. Anyway, to thread it, to put it in a needle. So here's our first signature. I thought, oh, I better put some holes in it. Hopefully it's gonna match. It'll match. It'll be fine, y'all. So we're poking our holes in the, the fold of the folios that are assembled together to make said signatures. And we're using big old heavy binder clips to hold it together. And the next one, for the second signature there, I will use some paper clips. Not near as heavy as these binder clips. You can't tell, but they were kind of, I'm like, oh, quit falling on me. Anyway, so the main thing when you are coming back into the center hole, okay, is not to split your thread, because otherwise you can't tighten up the threads to make sure the signature is securely in the spine. So doing that, fiddling, playing that violin. And you want one tail on one side and one tail on the other so that you can tie a knot. 2 knots. Some people do 3. I tend to only do 2. Anyway, you could put a drop of glue on there if you wanted to also. I tend to leave tails, okay? But some people cut the tails off. And if you want the tails on the outside of your cover, you start sewing from the outside of the spine. Okay? Okay. So we're doing this, and I've hyper-speeded the hyper-speed. If you want to slow it down, you can. VoiceOver will be somewhat altered. And if you want to speed it up even more for your entertainment, again, VoiceOver will be altered. Funny stuff, y'all. So, making sure one's on each side. Gonna tie a double knot, aka square knot. And pretty happy. Gonna trim them up-ish. I will put little doolallers on them later. I'm gonna trim this one up so that they're kind of the same. One of these things is not like the others. Anyway, cover, front, back. I don't know. Doesn't matter yet. Not yet. After a while, the paper and all that will figure out that, hey, I'm a journal. Because at first they don't know that. So I got out this here Sizzix die and cut it from some craft cardstock. And now we're going to do some stamping. Making sure it's working. And that is manganese blue. It looks a lot like, to me, in my opinion, like the blue ink of a big ink pen. Okay? I prefer blue ink. I just do. So, now we cut the little label thing that came with that particular die. It has got a label die with it too. We cut that from coordinating paper like the signatures. Because, we got some scraps over there. You'll see all those scraps again in a little bit. Okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead and ink around here because we're making it fancy. So, we're inking around everything. That's my little brown coffee ink pad that it's a little cut and dry foam and it's more brown on it. And we're just kind of squishing over everything and super hyper speed. Now we're back to just regular hyper speed. We're going to glue that one on there. I know they're plain. Just wait. We will do some decorating. This is an almost naked journal. Okay? The signatures are naked. The cover, not quite so much. Going to have some ephemeras. You'll see. We'll get there. Okay. So I don't know. I think that's the coffee color ink. Brown. Just, it's a brown, y'all. It's permanent. Archival. I like it that way. And we are inking around everything because, it's important you see me inking around everything. Now we're going to glue on these little labels that came from whatever little ephemera pack thing mentioned in description. Because I think I used a couple different ones, to tell you the truth. And yeah, doing that. We got some Timmy stamps. That's what we stamped it with, and that's what we will continue to stamp with. I'm like, no, I don't want the blue. I want black this time. So, okay. And I stamp it off on that other scrap paper there. I think it ended up looking kind of cool on its own. I mean, you know, it's hodgepodge. It's, you know, nothing specific. Background noise, if you will. Could be useful for something. IDK what? Something. Don't y'all just love saying IDK? IDK, IDK, IDK. If only we'd known that when we were kids in the 70s. Cool, man. Okay, here's some other little ephemera pieces. I think this is a different pack. Anyway, listed them out because I thought, it just looks kind of lacking. So I'm going to ink around that. It's important that you see the inking because, you know, once you get to filming, and sometimes it's just like, oh, do I really want to edit that out and spend, you know, 10 minutes editing it out just to get rid of, you know, what, 30 seconds of video at best? Anyway. So now we're going to glue these in. This is tuck spots. I don't know. There's several different ways you could actually use this style, okay? But this time I'm doing it this way so that the whole thing is glued down except the little lattices in the middle. They are not glued down. We just glued around the edges, okay? So it's kind of like a pocket, but it's not a pocket, but kind of, okay? So we're putting one on the front inside cover and one on the back inside cover. They are the same, but they are not the same. But you can't see them at the same time either. So here's a piece of scrap, and we're just going to stamp out these little things on the scrap, and we will fussy cut-ish at them. Because if you have these stamps, or if you can see the close-up, you can see where the stamps themselves stamp out as if they had been just trimmed from a book or a newspaper or whatnot. So the writing is like, you know, just all of a sudden cut out. And if you were to leave an edge on there, let's say an edge, it would look like it was stamped. Whereas when you trim it right next to, you know, the stamping, it looks like it was cut from a book or newspaper or some such stuff. But you know, the way you fussy cut, that's your thing, okay? Yeah, just saying. So it took me an hour to get them back on the stamp card. Not really, just sounded funny in my head. And now we've got these little teeny tiny punches. Well, they're not teeny tiny ones are coming. And one's a square, one's a circle. So we're punching them out because we're going to put these on the little threads, you know, the thread ends in the center part of our signatures. And I'm picking out some scrap paper. I'm like, yeah, and I've got this little teeny tiny frog punch, and we're going to punch out some frogs. Punching them frogs, y'all. Hippity hop punch. Hop, hop, punch. Hop, punch, 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 hop. So there they go. The frog punched pretty good. The little dragonfly that we're fixing to do, it was like, I'm going to fit you on this one. So, I mean, you know, if you didn't snap it real quick, it didn't punch very well. Now, this is thin copy weight. You know, it's just copy weight paper, printer paper, if you will. If you don't have a copier, but you do have it, or familiar with a printer paper. Anyway. So, yeah, just snap it real quick. Just, real quick, like, it's like, no! It's like, if I don't get two more of these decent punches, I'm just not even going to use that one. But we got it. We got it. So we're going to glue the frogs to Oh, we're gluing. What are we gluing? I don't know. The frogs either go on the square ones or the round ones. Okay, the dragonflies are going on the square ones. Oh my gosh. My teeny tiny editing screen. Y'all know. I'm not going to say it. You already know. So we're gluing them on there. You know, I'm getting glue all over my tweezers and all over my fingers. It's like, oh, no wonder I'm so confused. Squirrel! There's a little thunder going on too. Anyway, so the frogs are going on the round ones, okay? I probably didn't need to show you the whole thing, but now that I'm doing the voiceover and I must tell you what I'm doing because, you know, it's not quite that obvious, maybe. Maybe it is. I don't know. Anyway, chitty chat, talk. Okay. So, cleaning, scrooshing stuff away, finding the center. We're going to put glue on the opposite side of the dragonfly on the square. Okay. Quit flipping it and get glue everywhere already. All right, stick the string in there. Put some glue on it. Get the other square one. Hopefully they're going in the same direction. Probably wouldn't have mattered. Okay, now we got it all glued on there. We smooshed it down and we're trimming off that little thread. And then we're going to put a circle because each one's getting a circle and each one's getting, you know, or in between the signature, it's getting a circle and a square. Just because in my head it was fun to have circles and squares. You got dragonfly in the air and the frog on the ground. Frogs are versatile. Tadpoles, they live in the water. Okay, so they are a water and land creature. Dragonflies love to hang around ponds and lakes and such because they eat skaters. They skater eaters. Okay, here is our topper. I think I previously said I will try to remember to link to that video in the description. It was fun that day. I was just like, I couldn't stop making these things, y'all. Sometimes it goes like that. That's why I run across, when I straighten things up, that's why I run across some things that are like, kind of could be together, but they're not finished. Oh, here's our little flippy floppy. Okay. With the front, our spine, our back. You can see how it looks from the top and the bottom. Gonna open it up. It's still not quite knowing it's a journal yet. See? Look. We got some scrap map that's still hanging around our desk. We've got some other bits of ephemera, paper doll, because you know I love them. And I put washi tape on that thing, but that thing's going to go on another doodler, which you'll see in the photo montages. And maybe a little bit here. See, here's our little signature center, and you know, it's just the papers, and whoever this eventually goes to live with can do whatever they want. Decorate, write, draw, paint, pet, whatever, y'all. And the back has got almost the same ephemera, map and paper doll and ephemera. So here we go. And here's the little pack. I'm going to, it's going to have a little extra little pack of stuff to go with it. Because I'm like, I just need to go on and shove these scraps on somebody else. So we put some little diamonds in there. These are the flat back diamonds that come in the diamond painting, y'all. And some tickets. And we got a little piece of cheesecloth. And those are the little doodlers that came out from the die cut, and there's some little scrap papers, and even the ones that I punched the little frog and dragonfly out of, and ta-da! Photo montage. Y'all, some things are just fun for me. I'm pretty happy with this come together, leftover bits and bobs. I mean, yeah, I did put a little thinking in there at the end, when I did the die cut. And I thought, well, what are we going to put in here? And, that kind of thing. So, pictures, photos, because they're fun. And I had issues because the sun was way too bright when I was taking the pictures. So I had to take it under the breezeway, patio cover, y'all. And so things got a little dark, and I tried to lighten them, and just one thing after another, and squirrel. So no squirrel in this one, although I do have a squirrel die. A little teeny tiny one I got a long time ago. Oh, it's got teeny tiny acorn dies with the squirrel, y'all. It's so funny. Anyway, yes, I've used it. Look at that. It does make me happy. Oh, I need to stamp my name on there somewhere, don't I? Golly, yes. So it's a long photo montage. Okay. Sound pretty happy. I mean, it's just a little crooked there on the spine, but it's perfect. Ta-da! Adultish. Y'all, it's a thing. Doesn't matter how old you are. It really doesn't. So, thanks for watching, and happy arting, y'all.